These are this afternoon's top stories. National consultation on the economy underway. St. Lucia's Guy Joseph vows to silence troublemakers, and Slovenia calls for more troops to address refugee crisis. Good afternoon and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Thursday, October 22nd, 2015. I am JD Keynes. In national news, ZIZ Radio, television and online provided live coverage of this morning's opening session of the annual National Consultation on the Economy. Being hosted by the Ministry of Finance, the one-day seminar is being held under the theme, Changing Lives, a Fresh Start Towards Sustainable Development, Growth and Prosperity. That event commenced mid-morning and is scheduled to run until 1 p.m. Up to press time, the country's Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris, Nevis's Premier and Finance Minister, the Honorable Vance Amory, Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Sir K. Dwight Venner, and Damian Hobson of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce had addressed the gathering. During his remarks, Prime Minister Harris spoke to the theme and outlined his government's stance on improving the quality of residents' lives.
We are all aware that economic growth is not sustainable without human development. Production and productivity, capacity and capability are critical to sustainable human development. My government is of the firm belief that as our country grows, so should our people. Strong economic growth in a country should translate to a change in the lives of the people for the better.
The National Consultation on the Economy facilitates engagement among the public and private sectors and civil society to arrive at a consensus on strategies to promote sustainable economic growth and social development in the Federation.
St. Kitts and Nevis will continue to contribute to supporting and strengthening of the OECS Pharmaceutical Services, PPS as we describe it.
That was incoming chairperson of the OECS Health Ministers Organization and St. Kitts and Nevis' Minister of Health, the Honorable Eugene Hamilton, speaking yesterday, Wednesday, at the 29th Policy Board meeting at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort. While delivering the feature address, Chairman Hamilton told the gathering of top health officials that several new initiatives must come on stream in the not too distant future.
As we plan ahead, we must be mindful that the region's epidemiological profile demands new initiatives. In that regard, I believe that the agenda includes a robust OECS health information systems, because we know that data drives decision, or should drive decision. B, compliance with international health regulations, because health risks and threats transcend geographical boundaries.
He spoke of the need for a well-resourced framework to mitigate and respond to disasters and identifying centers of medical excellence for the referral of patients and specimen. As a follow-up to the 29th Policy Board meeting, the Second Council of Health Ministers meeting got underway last night, that's Wednesday, with an opening ceremony at the Governor General's house. Nevis's Premier, the Honorable Vance Amory, says it is important that the Twin Island nation rids itself of the stigma of political victimization. Speaking as a guest on this week's edition of Working for You on ZIZ Radio, Amory said the Team Unity-led administration is committed to maintaining transparency and exercising good governance.
So I think if we engage in transparency and things like that, good governance, we look at a general policy of prosperity for all, where people, if you're qualified and there's a job available, you can get that job, and you do not need to feel, if you don't quote unquote support the party, or you are not an activist, that you won't get a job. Because we have to utilize all of the quality human resource we have in St. Kitts and Nevis to get the best for the people of Nevis in a total way. St. Kitts and Nevis in a total way.
Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Vance Amory. We'll take a break and be right back.
I like flavorful, but not really spicy.
For me, a big priority is obviously healthy.
kind of frou-frou foods, you know, international chef.
You know, I knew he would just come today. I knew today the gardener would show up. Exactly when I'm under a lot of pressure. And
we have come to a final decision.
Welcome back. Regionally, in St. Lucia, Guy Joseph has vowed to silence the so-called troublemakers within the ranks of the United Workers' Party. The threat was made at the Miku campaign rally on Tuesday evening, where Joseph also cast doubt over the contest for political leadership.
Guy Joseph, the United Workers' Party Southeast MP, spoke candidly on the party's leadership race at a Miku campaign rally Tuesday night and is suggesting the incumbent Labour administration has played some role in creating the rift among the UWP membership.
I know there was a meeting. I know what happened behind the scenes. That what was said is that Alan Chasney, if he goes unopposed, that it is going to show that the people of the United Workers' Party have finally settled that Alan Chasney is the leader of the United Workers' Party, and he will be too much of a force to be reckoned with with the Labour Party. So the Labour Party was behind the scenes working to make sure that somebody challenged Alan Chasney as the leader of the United Workers' Party to try and throw the party in turmoil leading up to this election. And you want me to pretend that everything is all right? You want me to pretend that when people come and present themselves, it's because they're genuinely interested in UWP? If y'all are so genuinely interested, where were y'all since that day we fight in the Labour Party? Kote hote. You know what? Take the line.
At the UWP Conference of Delegates, Sarah Flood-Bober was awarded the nod to contest for political leadership against Alan Chasney after Stephenson King, a former political leader and Prime Minister, and Mary Polius, who recently resigned as First Vice Chair, turned down nominations. Guy Joseph characterized some of the disgruntled executive members as, quote, troublemakers, who he vows to silence.
Let me tell you, I'm upset about this. I am upset that this can happen in my party. And all the people who are making the noise, Pukisayo decline. Why they decline? So they decline to make the way for other people to come and cause trouble. And other people foolish enough to think they can come and cause trouble in the United Workers' Party. Well, let me tell you, I am determined, even if I am removed from the UWP, that I will disclose all what I know. And I'm sending a signal tonight that if that's how we want to deal with it, we will deal with it. Person by malpa le flambeau, and le TV, et ben le radio, et Guy Joseph, power upon you.
The Miku rally was the final push for the UWP's Enough is Enough campaign to garner support for the second national demonstration slated for October 22nd. The UWP is protesting against the perceived failed policies of the Labour government. Rihani Isidore, HTS News Force.
Guyana's Prime Minister Moses Nagamuthu says millions of dollars are reportedly unaccounted for at the National Communications Network. He believes that the broadcasting entity needs a new direction. More in this report from Capital News.
State-owned National Communications Network NCN is in another controversy. Prime Minister Moses Nagamuthu told reporters that the auditors are currently trying to figure out where $500 million went after discovering the funds could not be accounted for between NCN and GINA.
I have just seen a document where purportedly the former government transferred almost $500 million to NCN and GINA. And in all the reports I have had for a certain period, I'm still trying to find out where this money gone. Because it was the $6 billion that had been spent by the former government without the approval of Parliament, so that the money had been spent. But I'm now seeing the document because we hadn't had our hands. When we were asking for the former finance minister to tell us where you spent $6 billion without the approval of Parliament. They hadn't provided us with the details.
He claimed that the state broadcasting entity needs new energy after being badly managed for years.
If I am asked by the board, I'll give an opinion, but let the board decide what it wants to do. But I think it needs new energy. That's what I feel. It needs new energy and it needs new direction.
The current CEO is Molly Hassan. The previous CEO, Michael Gordon, took over management of the station after Mohammed Fuzzy Sattar and production manager Martin Gulsaran were linked to a scandal where monies that were supposed to be paid to NCN went to other accounts.
Internationally, Slovenia's parliament has passed legislation giving the army more power to help guard its border. It's struggling with a huge influx of refugees as more than 20,000 have arrived since Saturday.
Progress has been hampered by bad weather and official restrictions. But on Tuesday, the pressure of numbers reached critical mass on the Slovenian-Austrian border. From the refugee camp on the Slovenian side, more than 2,000 men, women and children gave up waiting and came streaming down the hill towards the Austrian frontier.
We told them we want to go, just we want to go. We don't know, we don't want anything, just we want to go to complete our journey.
Austrian soldiers and police strung a barrier across the road. Translators used megaphones to appeal for calm. The atmosphere was anything but calm.
And as the pressure grows, so does the impatience. This group behind me has come walking down the street from the Slovenian side in an unofficial way. They're not registered with the Austrian side, and they're just trying to push their way through. Now, clearly, it's not going to succeed, but you can see that the authorities are having great difficulty in maintaining order.
The breaking point was the arrival earlier on Tuesday of hundreds more refugees to the Slovenian border camp, already hosting nearly 2,500 people. Until then, the camp had been orderly, with police, charity NGOs and local donations combining to provide food and warm clothes.
These people came to my heart. I emptied my closet. I took all the children's stuff because I have a small child. And brought them here to help people because they are wet.
Slovenia, a country of just 2 million people, says it cannot cope as the numbers arriving from Croatia continue to outstrip the numbers being allowed onward to Austria. In direct response, Slovenian police have now reinforced their capability and brought riot vehicles to patrol along the Croatian border. Austria denies restricting numbers, and police at the Šentil crossing say they're processing refugees as quickly as the system allows.
Because we want them to have aid, to have food, and so that they can sleep somewhere in Austria. And there's no limitation about persons that we get from Slovenia, but we need to have a correct order, correct procedure to get them. So this is the problem.
The police don't lack compassion, but it seems the system cannot keep up with the reality.
Syrian President Bashar al-Assad meets with Russian leader Vladimir Putin and thanks him for his support during Syria's civil war. Jim Scuto reports.
It's believed to be the first time he's left Syria since the civil war there began more than 4 years ago. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad traveling to Moscow to meet face-to-face with the man propping up his embattled regime, Russian President Vladimir Putin.
The terrorism that is now spreading today could have, without your decisions and actions, spread to even more territories and states, not just in our region, but to other regions too.
2 weeks into Russia's surprise military intervention in Syria in the air and on the ground, Mr. Putin promised Mr. Assad continued support.
We are prepared to do whatever we can, not only in the course of military efforts to fight terrorism, but also in the course of the political process.
That's a process the U.S. would like to see result in Assad's ouster. Today, U.S. officials wonder how the visit will affect upcoming meetings Friday between Secretary of State Kerry and his Russian counterpart, Sergei Lavrov. The White House spokesman telling reporters, quote, "We view the red carpet welcome for Assad, who has used chemical weapons against his own people, at odds with the stated goal by the Russians for a political transition in Syria." But Russia's recent military activities may not end in Syria. President Putin reportedly sending a letter to Iraqi Prime Minister al-Abadi expressing his support for the fight against ISIS on the Iraqi side of the border, raising the possibility of Russia filling a perceived void in Iraq left by the U.S.
These people in Russia and the Kremlin are going to say, okay, we have an opportunity here. We're going to drive our version of a Mack truck right through this area, and we are going to control the agenda for the northern Middle East. And that is exactly what they're doing.
Now, taking a look at the weather, a ridge of high pressure in the lower levels of the atmosphere will be the dominant weather feature, limiting significant shower activity over the area. Therefore, today will be partly sunny with a slight chance of brief showers. Tonight will be partly cloudy with a chance of brief overnight showers. Winds are east to east-southeast at 7 to 16 miles per hour. Seas are slight to moderate with waves of heights between 1 to 1.5 meters or 3 to 5 feet. Temperatures for today will be at 28 degrees Celsius or 83 degrees Fahrenheit. Sunset is expected at 5:45 p.m. and sunrise for tomorrow will be at 6:06 a.m. That brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. I have been your presenter, JD Keynes. Have a wonderful afternoon.